With leave of the House, I move that we open the privilege hour.
There's a motion. Is there any objection? The chair is none. The motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I now move that the gentleman from Cagayan de Oro, the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez, be recognized to avail of the privilege hour.
The Honorable Rufus Rodriguez is recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, Majority Leader, my distinguished colleagues. I rise today on a matter of utmost national importance. As representative of the 2nd District of Cagayan de Oro, the city of Golden Friendship, I cannot remain silent as our families, our very foundation, are being torn apart by a digital plague, online gambling. Mr. Speaker, the numbers and stories paint a disturbing reality. Gambling, once confined to casinos and cockpits, now hides in our smartphones, accessible 24/7, often with no age restrictions, and just a click away from financial ruin. Today, Madam Speaker, any person, even a minor, can register on a gambling app, fund it through an e-wallet, and lose everything within minutes. In fact, according to a 2025 study by the Digital Risk Observatory, an estimated 34 million Filipinos, 34 million Filipinos, roughly 1 in 3 adults have participated in online gambling. 64% of surveyed users admitted to being online, with many of them doing so daily. Around 30% of users are between the ages of 15 and 24, and many of them started playing before the age of 18. Our laws and our digital systems are failing to protect them. What's more alarming, Madam Speaker, is how these platforms are promoted. We see celebrities, influencers, even beauty queens endorsing apps like Bingo Plus, Arena Plus, OkiBet, and Stake.com, enticing millions of Filipinos with promises of instant riches. As of this year, over 15 top Filipino celebrities are directly or indirectly promoting gambling platforms, from Ivana Alawi to Vice Ganda to Alden Richards. These endorsements, Madam Speaker, are often packaged as lifestyle content, making gambling appear harmless and as aspirational. But behind the flashy promotions lie broken homes, exhausted savings, and shattered futures. A jeepney driver lost his entire day's earnings to an online slot game on his phone during trips. Madam Speaker, in Cagayan de Oro's adjacent municipality, a resident addicted to gambling committed suicide just 3 weeks ago. Another heartbreaking case comes from my very own city, Cagayan de Oro. A husband, enraged by her wife, always demanding that he stop gambling on an online game called Scatter. Scatter, Madam Speaker, in Cagayan de Oro, violently attacked her wife. This is not fiction. These are reported on online radio, TV, and it's a chilling reminder that gambling is not a private vice, it has public consequences. And the platforms are everywhere, through mirror links, Telegram groups, Facebook ads, and even disguised arcade apps. Gambling has become omnipresent and ubiquitous. Apps like Tong Eats Go, Color Game, and Piso Games are downloaded in seconds and often require no age verification at all. A child only needs a mobile number and GCash account to start betting. Yes, Madam Speaker, we acknowledge that the online gambling industry contributes to our economy. According to PAGCOR, regulated e-gambling brought 200 billion in 2024 and 33.7 billion in taxes from DigiPlus alone. There are about 40,000 Filipinos employed in the industry. But I ask again, at what cost? Can we truly put a price tag on broken families, or mental health cases, on domestic abuse, on youth addiction? A financial gain for the few must not justify suffering for the many. Gambling is not a sustainable driver of development. It is a trap for the poor and a poison to our culture. Walang katumbas na pera ang buhay ng isang tao o ang saya ng isang pamilya. Huwag na nating dagdagan pa yung mga nawawalang sabongero. Sa mga bilyonaryong kumikita ng online gambling, tama na. Mahiya din kayo. Let us not forget that the Department of Health has declared online gambling as a gambling addiction as a public mental health concern. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines has sounded the alarm, calling it a moral and social emergency. While financial platforms like GCash have begun restricting gambling-related ads, regulation remains weak, enforcement is inconsistent, and the platforms multiply by the day. Madam Speaker, I strongly urge this August chamber to act with courage and resolve. Let us ban, I repeat, a total ban on all forms of online gambling. Let us prohibit e-wallets like GCash, Maya, Shopee Pay from enabling gambling transactions. Let us penalize operators, financial intermediaries, and endorsers. Let us penalize them. Let us empower DICT, NTC, PAGCOR, and law enforcement agencies with the legal tools to shut down access to this online gambling and file charges to punish violators. But we must go further. I call on the government to launch a nationwide campaign for public awareness and recovery, to fund support groups, and to educate our people about the dangers of online gambling. Let us protect our children, our own children, from a future dictated by addiction. Let us safeguard our workers from a habit that destroys livelihoods. Let us defend the Filipino family from digital vice distinguished as entertainment. Madam Speaker, in the past, this chamber had the courage to end Pogo. This chamber had the courage to stop e-sabong. Today, we therefore must take an even bolder step. Let us lead by example. Let us put an end to the silent epidemic of online gambling. Madam Speaker, let us remember, governance is not about choosing between what is easy and what is right. We must act decisively for the 4 families in the barangays, for the children lured by flashy apps, for the victims of digital vice. We owe it to them to unequivocally, absolutely, and completely ban all forms of online gambling now. Daghang salamat, Madam Speaker. Thank you, my distinguished colleagues.
Majority Leader. Yes, Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to recognize the Honorable Representative Romulo.
The Honorable Representative Romulo is recognized.
Madam Speaker, will the gentleman from Cagayan de Oro be open to a few clarificatory questions?
To of course, our distinguished chairman of the Committee on Basic Education, the debonair Congressman Roman Romulo. I am very much willing to answer your questions.
You may proceed, Honorable Roman Romulo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The gentleman from Cagayan de Oro, I was listening to your privileged speech on online gambling. And last night, I chanced upon a news report about Cardinal or Bishop David
Yes,
talking about gambling, the Cara Cruz issue, wherein an altar boy passed away. And do you know, Madam Speaker, honorable gentlemen, the reason why the altar boy passed away was because one day during the Habagat, he was looking for his father, and he could not find his father anywhere. So they were searching. He was wading through the flooded streets of the place where he resides until he realized someone told him that his father was actually in the police prison. And the reason for that was that he was arrested for playing Cara Cruz
under PD on gambling.
under PD 1602.
That's correct, an old presidential decree.
So don't you find it ironic, Madam Speaker, gentlemen from Cagayan de Oro, that we are talking here about online gambling, whether it is legitimate or not, but then we have simple people, simple Filipinos who we arrest for playing Cara Cruz. And then it's become so difficult for their family to even come up with the bail money to pay in order for the father to be able to release. Eventually, he passed away because of leptospirosis. So do you think it is so ironic that here we are discussing online gambling, whether it should be allowed or not, and then yung masa, yung simpleng tao, we penalize them. We don't even consider what they are going through.
Yeah, Madam Speaker, I agree with the distinguished colleague that what happened to the father of the young boy who died because he had leptospirosis is the summit of all ironies. Because here we have a PD decree 60613 and it penalizes Cara Cruz on the
Yes.
streets. And yet now we allow everyone to take his cell phone, and everybody almost in the Philippines has cell phones or two to just one click away bet. And so therefore, that is another issue, and we should repeal that decree that, this small, according, the Supreme Court already ruled in one of the cases that these kinds of gambling is anti-poor and should not be allowed the arrest and the penalty. So I
Madam-
agree with the distinguished colleague
Yes.
on
Ma-
that prime example of what our old laws contain.
Madam Speaker, gentlemen from Cagayan de Oro, the recent Supreme Court ruling, in fact, did not ban or repeal it because they could not do that. But what the justice, the ponente, did was he made it very clear that there are stringent conditions to be followed by an arresting officer before you can actually arrest under PD 1602. Hopefully, Honorable Rodriguez, when you file this bill, when this is heard in the committee, appropriate committee, you can also take a look, not necessarily in repealing 1602, but there are adverse effects which could be corrected, which should be corrected because it is anti-poor. And I will join you, Honorable Rodriguez, during these hearings. Honorable Rodriguez, Madam Speaker, thank you very much for the time given to me.
Thank you very much, distinguished colleague. Madam Speaker, indeed, tomorrow I'm going to file the bill on against online gambling total ban. I did not file it because under the rules, we cannot have a privileged speech if the congressman has already filed a bill on the same subject matter. That is in the rules. So I have not filed, and I'm going to file tomorrow this total ban. And I hope Congressman Romulo, Chairman, will be co-author, and we will take a look at these anti-poor provisions when we allow everything, all kinds of gambling, but then the Cara Cruz, which resulted in the death of the boy, it's still a crime, Madam Speaker. Thank you very much, distinguished colleague.
Thank you. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize Senior Deputy Majority Leader Lawrence Defensor.
to recognize our Senior Deputy Majority Lawrence Defensor.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Will the gentleman yield?
Certainly to the distinguished Senior Majority Leader, who was the Senior Vice Chairman of the Committee on Constitutional Amendments in the 19th Congress.
Yes, the Senior Deputy Majority Leader, please proceed.
Thank you to the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez for raising that issue on online gambling. Our entire country should be aware of the ill effects of illegal gambling, not only online, but illegal gambling per se. Madam Speaker, I have a daughter who's 7 years old now, and I can barely keep her hands off my cell phone. More so, my teenage son, who already has access not only to social media, but to other online games through a simple cellular phone. Madam Speaker, may I know from the gentleman if from other countries or jurisdictions there have already been regulation and bans, not only on gambling, but simply social media bans to protect its citizens, especially the youth.
There have been some countries only regulating online gambling. There has been no country that has banned online gambling, total ban, not regulation, because now it seems that there is a choice of us policymakers, ban or regulate. I maintain that just regulation will not be enough to be able to stop this pernicious, addictive online gambling. So that is the situation our distinguished Senior Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, the cause of the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez is very honorable. May I know if he has data or statistics to support this ban on online gaming to further strengthen his position and the bill that he will file eventually?
We have here what has been researched by Digital Risk Observatory. It says that of the 116 million, as of December 2025, the Philippines has a population of 116 million, and 28 million of those are in the island paradise of Mindanao. Because Abante Mindanao, my brother is here, trying to be able to bring out what is good for Mindanao. And so it's according to Digital Risk Observatory 2025 study, current this year, estimated 34 million or 1/3 already of our Filipinos are into online gambling. So roughly 1 in 3 adults have participated in online gambling, meaning adults 18 years old and above. But then the problem is 7, 8-year-old up to 18, they already bet because it's just a click away. And most of our 7 years old, even younger than that, have cell phones already. And so continuing with these statistics and this particular finding, 64% surveyed users, so 64% of the 34 million Filipinos admitted to betting online, many of them doing so daily. That is the problem. Daily in their cell phone, having online betting. And around 30% of users, distinguished majority, senior majority leader, are between, here is the figure, 30% of the users are between ages to 15 to 24. It has excluded even those less than 15. So 15 to 24-year-old young people are already users of online gambling. And they started playing even before reaching the age of 15, you see. So therefore, the statistic will show that clearly this is a silent epidemic which is plaguing our country today.
Mr. Speaker, I agree with the Honorable Rodriguez, especially that access to online gaming is as simple as clicking your cell phone without any verification or any security to protect the young from engaging in online gambling. Now, based on reports and based on data that I have seen from news agencies, there are at least 40,000 Filipinos involved in online gambling as a way of work, as a way of profession. And these people have gainful income as operators of online gambling. May I know from the Honorable Rodriguez, what would be his suggestion to give livelihood, to give jobs and employments to innocent people that will be affected by a total ban of online gaming so that we will not deprive them of their livelihood and their gains that they will use for their families?
Mr. Speaker, in the same vein as what the Department of Labor has done to the displaced workers of POGO, because we banned POGO, there is a program by the DOLE to reintegrate and to give a chance to work and opportunities for those that will be displaced when this becomes illegal. You are right, Senior Majority Leader, that 40,000 under the survey, 40,000 are now engaged in these particular platforms. And so therefore, we will ask the proper agency, and that is the DOLE, to prepare already. Once we have this bill passed and would become law with the Senate and to be signed by the President, then there has to be a program by the Department of Labor and Employment to be able to, again, give them jobs through training and proper orientation.
Mr. Speaker, I will fully support this bill by the Honorable Rufus Rodriguez. In fact, I will be active in his committee hearings, not only to protect Filipinos from the ill effects of online gambling, but also to ensure that the livelihoods of affected Filipinos will be addressed and protected. Mr. Speaker, let me manifest my intention to be the first co-author once the Honorable Rodriguez has filed this bill, and he has my full support in the committee once this bill is deliberated. Thank you so much, Mr.
We thank the Honorable Majority Leader, that the Senior Majority Leader, for his signification of support, together with our Chairman of the Committee on Basic Education. They will be the first co-authors of this bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Defensor, Honorable Rodriguez. Majority Leader. Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Rodriguez and its interpellations to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action.
Is there any objection? Chair is none.
the speech of Honorable Rufus Rodriguez and its interpellation is referred to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.